Welcome to Match B2B Insights, everybody. I'm Benny Fluman, here with Brian Newman and Daniel Weiss. In our previous episodes, we've covered everything from optimizing the founder profile to creating buyer tension and the art of the follow-up. Today, we're connecting those pieces into what we call the trust architecture between your personal presence and the company page. And Daniel, I think most B2B companies are still asking completely the wrong question about this. They sit in management meetings and ask, should we invest in the founder's personal profile, or should we invest in the company page?
I've sat in that exact meeting, usually right before someone suggests hiring a 22-year-old intern to just handle social.
Exactly. But that question is fundamentally flawed. A founder profile without a credible company page just looks like a personal vanity project. And a company page without strong human voices behind it, it's completely invisible. The real question is, what job should each one do inside your growth system?
And that is exactly where the execution breaks down. I see this every day. Companies post generic updates from the company page, literally 0 people react, and within 3 weeks the CEO says, well, LinkedIn doesn't work for our industry.
Because they don't have a posting problem, Brian. They have a trust architecture problem.
Okay, trust architecture. That sounds like something a consultant charges 50 grand to draw on a whiteboard. What does that actually mean in the real world? For a mid-sized B2B company?
It means that before a B2B buyer ever agrees to a 30-minute demo with you, they need multiple trust signals. They see a post. They click your personal profile. Then they click the company logo to see the company page. Then they check the website. That sequence, post, profile, company page, website. That is already an architecture. The only question is whether you designed it or whether it's just happening to you by accident.
And it is almost always happening by accident. The founder's profile is talking about leadership lessons. The company page is posting about a software update from 2 months ago, and my SDRs are sending cold emails about saving 20% on operational costs. It's an accidental architecture, and it's a mess.
Wait, so your SDRs are reaching out to people who have just experienced 3 completely disconnected messages? Leadership, software update, cost savings.
Exactly. It's like inviting a buyer into a messy office. They look around, see papers everywhere, realize nobody knows what the company actually does, and they just walk out. And then we wonder why our cold outreach conversion is at 0.5%.
Which is why we have to stop treating LinkedIn as a marketing debate and start treating it as go-to-market infrastructure. The founder profile and the company page are not competitors for your marketing budget. They are 2 different parts of the exact same revenue system.
Okay, so if I'm working with a company tomorrow morning, let's say a 25-person SaaS company selling internationally, where do we actually start? Founder profile or company page?
Almost always, the founder profile.
Really? Almost always? Because from a management perspective, building your entire GTM strategy around one person's personal profile creates a massive dependency. If the founder steps back, does the pipeline dry up?
That is a valid risk, Daniel, but the solution isn't to hide the founder. In a small or mid-sized B2B company, the founder, or a very senior executive, is the strongest trust asset you have. Buyers trust humans faster than they trust a logo. The goal is to use the founder profile to create that initial trust, and then systematically transfer it into the company system.
Transfer it how? Because right now, most founders are just posting motivational quotes that don't transfer anything except maybe secondhand embarrassment.
True. The founder profile has 4 specific jobs. First, explain clearly who the company helps. Second, show a sharp point of view about the market. Third, create trust through expertise. And fourth, and this is where Brian's SDRs come in, start relevant conversations with buyers.
Okay, but Benny, let's look at the reality. Let's say I'm that CEO. I'm running a 25-person company. I am not a natural writer. I don't have 3 hours a week to sit around drafting thought leadership on market trends.
Then do not write. I tell my clients this all the time. Do not force a non-writer to write. Extract the knowledge instead. Interview the founder for 15 minutes. Have them record a 5-minute voice note on their drive home about a sales call they just had. Extract their actual opinions from Zoom recordings.
Wait, a 5-minute voice note about a sales call. That's actually brilliant, because the sales call has the actual buyer pain. It's not a theoretical leadership post.
Exactly. The buyer pain is real. Then you use AI. Not to write the content from scratch, but to structure that raw voice note into those 4 jobs I mentioned. The judgment and the expertise must come from the human. The AI just organizes the architecture.
So the founder is basically just providing the raw material, the raw market tension.
Yes. Because if you just ask AI to write a LinkedIn post for a B2B CEO, it outputs, "In today's rapidly changing business landscape," and everyone immediately scrolls past because it signals to the market that there is no real opinion there. It destroys the exact trust we are trying to build.
Okay, so the founder is providing the raw tension. They are activating the trust. Let's pivot to the company page. Because, Benny, I look at hundreds of these a week, and 90% of mid-sized B2B company pages are basically digital graveyards.
Digital graveyard is aggressive.
It's accurate. You look at them. Last post was 3 months ago. It's a picture of the team eating pizza, or it says we are excited to announce our new UI update. There's no positioning, no proof, and absolutely no reason for a buyer to follow it.
You're completely right, Brian. And this goes back to the roles. If the founder profile's job is to answer the question, "Why should I trust this person?" The company page's job is to answer the question, "Is there a serious, credible institution behind this person?"
So the company page validates. It's not there to generate the viral reach. It's there to catch the people who saw the founder's post and want to do their due diligence.
Precisely. The founder activates, the company page validates. A strong company page needs to do 5 things. State the positioning clearly. Show institutional proof, like case studies. Support the founder's voice. Promote actual conversion events like webinars. And simply help buyers confirm the company is active and serious.
Let's talk about the alignment there, because that's where the leakage happens. If a CEO with 1,800 connections is talking about solving operational delays, but the company page with 600 followers is just posting generic feature updates, the buyer gets confused.
That is exactly what causes trust leakage. The company page must validate the exact same positioning the founder is talking about. Same ICP, same business problem, just backed up with institutional proof. If the founder says, "Operations managers are struggling with X," the company page needs to say, "Here is a case study of how we solved X for this specific client."
So strategically, you fix the founder profile first to get the motion going, but practically, you have to fix the company page at the same time, or all that motion just leaks out of a broken bucket.
Correct. You cannot have the founder activating buyers and then sending them to a digital graveyard.
Let's bring AI back into this. Because earlier, Benny, you mentioned using AI to structure the founder's voice notes. But in the SDR world, we're seeing companies use AI basically as a spam cannon, just generating hundreds of generic posts and comments.
Which is the lowest value use of the technology. AI should not be your content machine. It should be your signal machine.
Wait, signal machine. Give me a concrete example of how that works in the pipeline.
That operational delay problem. 50 people view the profile, 12 people comment. Some are actual operations leaders, our ICP. Some are competitors. Some are just consultants. AI can take that raw engagement data and classify the signals. Who is a potential buyer? What specific pain did they mention in the comments? What follow-up message should the SDR send based on that specific interaction?
And that is where the magic happens. Because right now, my SDRs are spending hours just trying to figure out who is worth talking to. If AI can classify those 50 profile views and tell me, these 3 people are ops managers at target accounts and they engaged with the post about delays, now I have a highly relevant entry point.
Exactly. And if you don't have that SDR layer, Brian, all of this LinkedIn activity is completely useless. You can have the best founder post and the perfect company page, but if an operations manager comments on your post and nobody follows up, the opportunity just dies quietly.
From a management perspective, this is the missing piece. everyone tracks impressions. Nobody tracks the follow-up conversion. If you create visibility but don't have a system to convert that visibility into a calendar invite, you are just funding a media project.
It happens all the time. The marketing team celebrates a post getting 10,000 views, but sales has 0 new meetings because no one took the signal and reached out. The SDR has to take that tension the founder created, use the proof from the company page, and open the door.
Okay, Benny, I want to challenge this whole system financially. If I'm a CEO, my time is incredibly expensive. Sales is pushing me. The product team needs me. If I'm spending 2 hours a week on LinkedIn, recording voice notes, reviewing AI drafts, engaging, how do I know this infrastructure actually pays off? What is the timeline?
It pays off when you stop treating it as a weekly posting chore and start building a 6-month go-to-market system. Because you're right, Daniel, doing random acts of content forever has a terrible ROI. But building an infrastructure scales.
Walk us through those 6 months, because 6 months is exactly the timeline where founders usually give up if they don't have a map.
Month 1. Fix the positioning on both the founder profile and the company page. Stop the leakage. Month 2. Build the 5 content pillars based on actual buyer pain. Month 3. Activate your connection flows. Start actively connecting with your ICP.
Month 4 is where the ROI has to show up, right?
Yes, month 4 is connecting the engagement, the comments, the profile views, to Brian's SDR follow-up. Month 5 is classifying those leads inside your CRM using AI. And month 6 is measuring exactly what creates real pipeline and scaling that.
So you're measuring relevant profile views, accepted connection requests, and pipeline influenced, not just likes.
Exactly. The metric is conversations generated, not impressions. Before we wrap up, let's nail down the 3 big takeaways for today. First, the founder profile activates trust. It's the tip of the spear. Second, the company page validates credibility. It's the safety net that catches the interest. And third, LinkedIn only creates a real pipeline when your engagement is connected to a disciplined follow-up system. Now, if a company wants to audit their setup this week, here is the 5-point checklist. First, does the founder profile clearly state the problem you solve in 5 seconds? Second, do the last 10 posts create buyer relevance, or are they generic AI fluff?
Third, does the company page actually validate that exact same message? Fourth, is there real institutional proof, case studies, webinars, easily visible?
And fifth, my favorite, when someone actually engages, who is following up? Where is it recorded? And what is the expected business outcome?
Spot on. The system wins, not the individual post. If you're building visibility without a conversion architecture, you're just making noise. At Match B2B, this is exactly what we build. The alignment between the founder's voice, the company's proof, and the SDR's follow-up.
Because if you get that right, LinkedIn stops being a chore and starts being your most predictable pipeline engine.
Exactly. Thanks for listening to Match B2B Insights. If your company is active on LinkedIn, but it isn't creating enough relevant business conversations, the issue isn't the platform, it's the system. At Match B2B, we build these growth engines for you. If you want to talk about building yours, you can WhatsApp or call me, Benny Fluman, directly at 052-420-3043. Next time, we're diving into the 80-20 playbook for founders who need real business results but literally have 0 time to waste. We'll see you then.